if anyone's breaking the law in this situation, it's not members of Congress, it's the Department of Homeland Security. It's people like Tom Homan and Secretary Kristi Noem. You lay a finger on someone, on Representative Bonnie Watson-Coleman, or any of the representatives that were there, you lay a finger on them, we are going to have a problem.
Yeah, sure we will. Joining me now, the aforementioned Trump administration board is our friend Tom Homan. Mr. Homan, thank you for coming back, sir. I reckon you heard AOC. House Minority Leader Jeffries had something similar to say. What are they talking about? These House members are breaking the law. They're breaking the law 6 different ways, including, as you know, shoving agents around left and right and then trying to cut in. What is she talking about, AOC?
She don't know what she's talking about. You know, I was a United States Border agent working the southern border 5 years before she was even born. When she became a member of Congress, I already had 34 years of defending our border and enforced immigration law. I forgot more than she'll ever know about this issue. And bottom line is, I said from day one, and I wasn't bluffing, you cannot support ICE. Shame on you. You can support sanctuary cities. Shame on you. But you can't cross that line. When you cross a line of impediment, when you cross a line of knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien, when you criminal trespass one of our facilities, we will ask the Attorney General to prosecute you. You can't cross that line.
Have you talked to AG Pam Bondi about this, Tom?
No, I've talked to Alina Habba, the acting U.S. attorney in that area.
Yes.
Alina's taking it serious. You know, going through a lot of videotape, talking to a lot of witnesses, and we'll see where the investigation falls. But I saw the video. I think the members of Congress are very inappropriate, unprofessional. They put hands on law enforcement officers. This is a facility. We got really dangerous people. We got to control that facility, not only for the safety of the officers, but the safety of the detainees and the safety of the general public. This was not the way to conduct oversight. There's a proper way to do it. This was not the way.
You know, sir, I think I don't understand. Honest to goodness, as a matter of common sense, look, this country wants the border closed. You have basically closed it. You and President Trump. You have basically closed the border. Okay, good. Now, second point. The country wants to get to deport these criminals. They are dangerous people. They are criminals. They are gangsters. They are murderers. They are also terrorists. How can a political party, how can Democrats think they're winning by defending people from MS-13 with criminal track records that are longer than their arm? I mean, I just don't understand it. It makes no common sense to me.
There's no common sense, and they can't justify it. I just think they hate Trump more than they love this country.
Yeah.
Because they're making those type of decisions, and I really truly believe that. President Trump is a game changer. I've worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. President Trump's success on the border is unprecedented. Right now, as you and I are talking, we got the most secure border in the history of this nation, and the data proves it. ICE has arrested 3 times more criminal public safety threats in the interior than Biden did in the same time period. President Trump, it's a game changer, unprecedented success, and you would think it would be a nonpartisan issue to remove public safety threats and national security threats from this country. Their #1 responsibility is protection of their constituents and their neighborhoods and their districts, and that's what ICE and President Trump is trying to do.
Yes, well, it's been incredibly successful. Now, I guess today or last night, a judge in Pennsylvania, a federal district judge, actually said, you know what, the president has the authority to deport under the Alien Enemies Act. What you make of that? You finally got a federal district judge.
Yeah, I just wish the radical judges, those district court judges, stop issuing nationwide injunctions. I don't think they have the legal right to do that, but we'll let the courts fight that out. But look, I welcome that decision. The President Trump simply invoked the authorities he has under the Alien Enemies Act, an act that was written and enacted by Congress. That's one thing about this administration compared to the last administration. President Trump's using the laws on the books to secure the border and enforce immigration law in this country. The Biden administration not only ignored those laws, they violated those laws. One example, you show up to the country without proper documentation, the statutory language says you shall be detained. not maybe, not think about it, not give them to an NGO and put them in a hotel room, $500 a night in New York City. Right. It says they shall be detained. We are doing that. Catch and release is over.
So here's one. Last one, sir. Appreciate your time, as always, Tom. Believe it or not, Democrats and Republicans on the City Council of New York, there's New York City Council, which is a pretty left-wing place. But there's a group, a coalition, Dems, Republicans, who want to end New York's status as a sanctuary city. They don't want to modify it. They want to end it altogether. Now, is there a way for you to link in with them and talk to them and maybe move on that? Just let's end it altogether?
Look, I love that. I'll do anything I can to end it. Maybe they're paying attention because 3 weeks ago I stood on stage with the mayor of New York, Mayor Adams. We announced the arrest, the indictment of 27 members of TDA, Tren de Agua. Public safety threats, national security threats, designated terrorists that were involved with gun smuggling, sex trafficking of women and children, drug trafficking, and murder for hire. It was a RICO investigation. That one day, we made New York City that much safer. And I'm hoping that the council members are paying attention. We prove that collaboration with ICE and NYPD makes that city safer, and we want to do more of it. So I'm all behind in the sanctuary cities, and Pam Bondi's taking that on through the courts. But I'm willing to work with anybody that wants to work with ICE to protect our communities and remove these public safety threats, not only from the community, from the United States.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Tom Homan, thank you, sir. Appreciate your service. Terrific stuff. Thanks for coming back.